Yo, we truth seekers, real, raw. Yo, we truth seekers. Yo, I know this life is a fight, but I'm following Jesus the light. Real, raw. Yo, we truth seekers.
We'll find out.
Right.
Well,
That is always the key.
what's going on with you?
Yo, I do not. I like spring. I like spring, but I do not like pollen. I do not understand. I do. I know. I went through science class as a kid. I understand pollen. I do not understand why it has to be so bad. My sinuses
All right.
have been a problem this whole week.
Yeah, that jump's all over my car and stuff.
Right. And you just go outside and it's just like a whole bunch of yellow on your car and everywhere. And I'm pretty sure from a good view in space, you could probably just see a cloud of yellow
Yeah,
covering.
wouldn't be surprising. Look like somebody bombed us with pollution.
Right? I know the bees and everything are happy, but I am not. It is not. It's not fun. So my whole week has been trying to control these sinuses and live with them. But
Yeah.
it's only for a time. That's what I keep telling myself. And it's nicer weather out, so that's what I'm good with. We just had we just grilled some chicken out on the grill.
Nice.
So, it's the time for grilling and being outside and
Yeah, nice
those
weather and
gardens
stuff.
and everything.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. True.
I tell you we built a fence
Oh, you built one?
for our backyard. That
What
was
did
not
you
fun either.
use? What did you use to build it? Like what type of fence?
We built a 6 foot privacy fence
Like it was a
and it was
wooden one, or
yeah. Yep. A whole weekend we just powered through.
that's
But it
crazy.
saved us like several $1,000s in getting someone else to do it, like a whole
Yeah.
like
You use like the handheld post digger thing, or
no,
what
I
did you?
I I've done that before. I was tempted to, but no, we rented one of the augers that you can get from like Home
Oh yeah,
Depot and
yeah,
just like
yeah.
went to town with it. Kind of felt like Rambo,
It was hilarious.
but
Yeah, I went to school with somebody who has a fencing company here now. They go
really,
around doing
yeah.
all different types of stuff.
I mean,
I used to do some odds and end works on a farm, on a dairy, not dairy, it was a Angus beef farm. But we had
uh,
to take like some electric fences down, put up other ones and stuff like that. So I know the dang, like some of them we had to use just a post hole because it was in the middle of the woods.
right.
So the
You got all these
tractor wasn't getting back
trees
there
and
and
roots
stuff.
and
Yeah. Other than that, he had just a big, it's a dude owned the whole farm, so he just had the big tractor with the drill thing on the back. He would just and pull all the dirt, pull all the earth up.
man. It
But
is a good thing
putting
though. Like whenever you get outside and like start working in the dirt and everything like that, something about it.
the only
Nice.
thing, the only thing doing his is like the posts are actually like street post type size, like whole tree round size. You kind of get what I'm saying? You got to put them up on your
Hmm.
shoulder to carry them. So like the posts for his fences were those. So it's like you still had to do it by hand. So you had to like take it up on your shoulder, walk it to the hole, and drop it in there. But that wasn't even the worst part. The worst part was filling the hole because then you just had to use this handheld like wooden handles. Me and then my friend just stood there just packing dirt just for like 20 minutes straight. You just like pack 15 minutes straight. You just packing dirt. Put a little bit more in, pack it tight, put a little bit more in. Like,
Right, because those things are heavy too. You need a
uh,
lot. We had cement for like the first couple feet on ours, and then like
yep,
just dirt for the rest. But
yeah. Then we had to put some metal ones into metal posts, but we had the little the thing you hold and it goes over the post and you hold it and you just like hammer it in. We had one of them joints.
mm,
Yeah, good old
yeah,
work.
good old work. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, talking about let's
Instagram that
see,
we're on.
idols. That's the
Oh
subject
man,
this week, right? I hope because that's the one I had on my.
right. That's definitely what we're talking about this week. Um, I got a lot to talk about in that one too.
You want
I was just thinking about it for the past few hours too. I'm like, there's a
yeah.
lot. So
Yeah, all right. Well, you probably got more than I got. So, um,
I don't know. I just talk off the top of my head sometimes.
I think I more got questions than like actual answers to stuff this time myself. But we'll see how it. I do got a couple things pulled up. I can show them though, just like what the main definition of idols are, or and then like the difference on what like the Bible views idols are compared to just like human life, I guess you would call it idols and stuff like
Right.
that. But no,
Dive into it.
I'll let you start it off since you
Yeah, we will
got
try
so
it.
much. I guess we
And we got to let people know that you're gonna soon start going on another
oh
time
yeah,
during the
yeah.
week.
Yeah, I still gotta pick a day for that, but I'll be going on. I'm not sure when we'll start. I'll probably start it soon, but go on one day each week and do like music reviews, reactions, or just listen to the music.
Pretty
More
cool.
is gonna be. It's more gonna be like music, like musicians we know, or some or stuff that I know is not gonna really shouldn't be get copyright type of stuff, but it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be an artist that a lot of people might not have heard of before. So, but we'll definitely like if we like if you know people or if people come in and chat have their own music or know some people they want to push out there, we'll check them out and stuff like that.
Cool, cool. That'd be awesome. Yeah, I think that
Just
it's gonna be really
request something
cool
that's
just to have like that.
respectful and not copyrighted, please.
Right. True. True. Some good music, and then yeah,
Maybe
and then next week we're gonna be going over. You mentioned the topic for next week too.
I forgot what I said already.
No, you texted it to me.
Good, because I don't remember. I'm
I think you
like
texted it.
you said. I just have things come to my mind and I mention them or put them down somewhere, and then I forget 10 minutes later. Two
Oh,
minutes
perfect.
later, really.
Distractions.
Hey,
You
there
said
you go.
distractions. So that was
2 minutes later, I'm distracted by something else.
right. So there you go. Distractions. So that'll be next topic. By the way, for those listening, it is Easter coming up. We have we're in the middle of what's called Holy Week, so I think it's really cool to really think about this entire week from Palm Sunday, which was last Sunday, all the way to Good Friday, which is coming up, and then Easter Sunday. So if you celebrate, if you go to church during this time, I know some people that this may be the only time you go to church. All good. Get into church if you can. That'd be awesome. Um, but for those of us really who have the faith in God and really believe in the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ, this is an important week. So um, don't get lost in the celebration of it. That you don't remember exactly what it's about. So
Right, right, yeah. Random
Ooh.
thought I had earlier, may kind of goes with that a little bit. Is maybe is I was watching a video of a preacher on YouTube, and when he would say certain things, he would be like, "That deserves a clap." At there, like people weren't clapping or nothing or like making noise; they were just listening. He was like, "Well, that deserves a clap." What I just said is like, I don't get why people. It's like you're not doing it for entertainment. So why you? Why does it matter if they clap or make noise? You're just if they're being
Mm,
quiet, they're listening anyway. So it's like, why are you worried about them making noise or clapping so much? Like when you say something, like I don't.
Mm.
Not
Yeah,
saying they're
yeah.
not preaching the truth or something. I guess you could say. Not saying they're like lying about anything, but I just don't understand what's the point of that. Like, why do you gotta say something like that as if you're looking for some type of entertainment reaction? You know what I mean?
Like some affirmation. I think it's just a
Yeah.
lot of it's um how a lot of, because I know it's not every church does it or every
Hmm.
denomination does it, but I think this is a lot of it's based off of like how you grew up. And
Yeah.
um
Just
I know
certain
especially in the
certain.
African American community, the black community, like
You think it's
yeah,
more of
those
just like a habit or like a saying type thing, but it doesn't really mean what kind of.
like traditional ritual or something like that. Like it's
Yeah,
something
it's
that
just a habit they
yeah,
people are used to saying something like that. I could get that, though. Depending on who you grew up listening to and things.
that's true.
And
That's
watching.
true.
I could get
I grew up
that.
in so many different types of churches with so many different types of like I grew up in all white churches, all black churches, mixed. Went to a Jewish Messianic Jewish church for a year when I was younger. Like I've seen a lot, so it's a lot different based off of a lot of denominations and
Yeah.
culture and stuff like that.
Hmm. I think I've mainly been around Baptist stuff.
Yeah,
Blue Ridge is it's just called community. It's not really. I
yeah.
don't
A
know.
lot of
It's
churches,
not really anything specific, I guess.
a lot of denominations went from like to just traditional Baptist type style, and kind of want to step away from that to like more non-denominational. A lot of your community churches,
Yeah.
um, like the I forget what the Acts 29, Acts something churches. So,
I
but
got you.
anyway,
Yep. You want to pray real fast, and then we can get into
get into the idols.
yeah. See what needs to be said.
All right. Well, God, we come before you and just thank you so much for this time of just being able to catch up and get to talking about the truth behind idols. And we just pray that you will, help our conversation to be uplifting, and also that you speak through us, as well as to us, and to those who are listening. And again, this is all about seeking truth, ultimately knowing that you are the truth, the way, the truth, and the life, and that's who we're trying to seek. So we give this time up to you, and we pray. Amen.
Yeah.
All right, idols. You want to start off? You want me to start off?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I might just have more questions that people might have than answers to stuff, but
I picked idols. One because growing up, the Ten Commandments always kind of like. I mean, we growing up, you had like that was part of the thing. Like you had to memorize the Ten Commandments, like don't murder, don't steal, don't lie, don't covet, all of those. I think the one thing that I always like thought about was like the top commandment was like don't have any other gods before me, or don't have any
right,
other like, or don't and
right,
don't worship like graven images or idols. And I always thought it was funny. It was like I feel like murder and lying and cheating and all that stuff is kind of like heavy. Like why would idols and gods be like numero uno? And so
right,
like as I've you know grown and studied and everything like that, I realized that like idols and having a god before God is numero uno because it is something that we all everybody struggles with. Like everybody, like you're
right,
gonna have people that aren't gonna murder, right? You have people that aren't gonna cheat or like like have adultery and stuff like that. But gods and idols, like you're gonna have everybody in that category.
right. It's like the most
So I think that's a big
important
thing.
thing to God is understanding he's the only one, him and all these other people that try to claim and are just fake, false.
Right.
Maybe it's more of like a I don't know, maybe a respect who I am type of thing. I don't know, or
Well,
appreciate who I am type of thing. Maybe.
I think the big thing is that like everybody, I believe everybody has a god. Um,
Right.
even we talk about atheists, right? Like
Hmm.
atheism really is not is they don't believe in the one true God. They don't believe in
Right.
God, but everybody has a God,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
whatever it may be.
No matter what, all of them acknowledge that there's a higher power type individual or a
Right,
thing that runs. So everybody acknowledges that there is God. Yeah.
right. And we're the thing is we're created to like we're
Yeah.
created to worship God. Um, and whatever we substitute in there, like we're created to worship a God. So whether it's God or whether it's something else, we're created to worship, right? And so that is a big thing of it. Like, um, I think that's the number one thing is like we are created to worship something, and if we're not worshiping God, then we're worshiping something else.
It tends to either be God or money, it seems like. Because, I mean, a lot of the other stuff could just fall in the category of money because you need money to have all those things or to get those things.
Maybe, maybe. I think there's a lot of like idols that we don't think about a lot of times
Yeah.
that kind
Those
of
are
sneak
probably.
in. Like
No, go ahead.
I think money is like one of the big ones
Oh, yeah.
that we talked about last time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there's a lot of idols that kind of
That's,
creep into our lives.
you know, what came to me just now about that is money is maybe the biggest one that we see. But the things that are always the most dangerous are the things you don't ever hear about and don't see, but are still affecting and damaging and ruining and stuff.
Yeah.
Because I mean, money, anything you can see and stuff, you can try to do something about or fight back. But if you can't see it or don't even know what to call it, then you can only have nothing to fight with or nothing to, you know.
Right.
So
Right. That's
yeah,
key. So what definition did you get for idol?
let's see. Let me. There we go. That's the. Where is it at? There it is. As Tim Keller states in his book, um, counterfeit gods and idols, anything more important to you than God, anything that absorbs your heart and imagination more than God, and anything that you seek to give you what only God can give. Um, Let me see. There was one. Here we go. An idol can refer to a person or a thing that is greatly admired or revered, or a representation of was that deity.
Mm.
That's the main definition, and then the first one I said, I guess, is the or what is the biblical definition, I guess, of it. Let's see. What else is there? Anything else I highlight? I don't think. I think that was all I highlighted for that. But that's, I guess, that's the main, like, a religious context. Idols are often representations or deities of spirits, such as statues or figurines. Now, talking about that, we were talking about the statues.
Mm.
Well, I was asking you about the statues, like, just an example, like Michael Jordan or something. He has a statue. Now, is that like idolizing because you built it, or do you have to literally like be physically like out there worshiping it or praising it or something to it for it to be?
I
What
think
do
it
you think
depends.
on that?
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of speculation on that. I don't think the actual I wouldn't say the actual building of a statue or of someone is like idol worship, but you have to really like. Like, why did we build that statue? Like, what's the purpose behind building the
Yeah,
statue?
yeah. That's yeah. You gotta think about. See, that's I think that's why I thought about that one day and questioned it myself, and then was like thinking over it because like building the statue is like you're idolizing that person. Now they might not, the person themselves might not be trying to be an idol, but it's like people are idolizing you by building that.
Right.
So it's not really his fault, you know what I mean? Like it's anyways, my
Right.
mind went into deeper thought about that type of stuff. Like what is
Like, there's so many ways to think. Like, so like building a statue of someone. We retire jerseys
yeah,
for people.
yeah,
We put people in the Hall of Fame. We have
yeah.
Hollywood has like the whole walk where people like put their hands in the clay and everything like that. Like,
Yeah. I mean, we literally have award shows that bring up all the little celebrities and everything, and they thank
right,
whatever god they're thanking, and
true.
I say it that way for a reason, but for
It's true.
my own opinion reason, but
But it goes back to what we said before. Like, we're all created to worship something. We're all created to like have a God,
yeah,
and so we seek those gods in different ways. And then we may not even like, you might say like, oh, this is kind of like blowing out of proportion, but it's true. Like, you build a statue, or a statue was built of Michael Jordan because he is the goat, right?
yeah,
He is an amazing basketball player who we like
right,
put up on this shelf of like,
right. He
bow
made it
down to.
worldwide famous type. Yeah,
Right, Tom Brady.
yeah,
You think of actors and actresses, whether it be like Denzel Washington or whoever. We think of
yeah,
um, like famous war heroes and presidents and stuff like that. Like, we have statues of our presidents,
yeah,
all of all of uh, all of Washington D.C.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
But I think there is a difference between um, what God had people make as statues in the Old Testament and mainly in the Old Testament, but there's some in the New as well. But like, you had Tower of Babel, uh, the tower itself, the building itself, not a bad thing. The reason behind it, a bad thing.
right. The intention.
Um,
Yeah,
right. Nebuchadnezzar, when he asked Daniel, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego to bow down before a statue, he built this whole statue for people to bow down to.
yeah,
Statue itself, not a bad
yeah,
thing. Reason behind it, but God always had his people build memorials. So the whole thing was like, remember what God had done for them, or like um, he had like Jacob build a memorial or like to remember, like, hey, this is the place where like God and I connected, or this is the place where God like actually showed me who He was.
yeah. So, thinking about like bowing down to something and things, is it the Vatican um that they gather around to do that with? Who is it?
Oh, the Pope.
Not the Vatican. What's the I can't think about what the heck it is. What's that big like square box? I can't remember where it's. Is it in Israel or is it in? I don't know. I'm sounding crazy right now, probably, but I'm trying to think of what I don't know. We can go on. I can't think about the name of it,
So like,
but
I think like there's religions that have um that have public figures or figureheads that people kind of worship too, like the Pope, um,
yeah,
like um, and a lot of like Catholicism and some like the Virgin Mary or the saints. Like, they can become figures of worship too. So
yeah,
I
yeah,
I don't know. There's a lot when it comes to that, but like and I, I
Even
kind of want to get into that too.
well, I even looking up that stuff. I even seen something about like should I kind of guess it goes with this. Should Christians wear crosses with Jesus hanging on like on the cross and things like that? Like, or is that considered a idol, or is that considered idolizing something like a? I couldn't remember exactly what it said, but that's basically what it was saying. Like,
No, I think that always cracks me up too, because like I get it. Like it's funny how we uh we glorify the cross, but not the risen, like
right,
empty grave. Like I
right,
don't see anyone with a chain with like an empty grave. Like, but I think it's just like
yeah,
it doesn't even
yeah,
mean anything these days. It's just like a cross is just kind of like
yeah.
a
Well,
fad.
I think Hollywood, when people pull out a cross, no matter who you are or what you're or how you're living, and it's supposed to have some type of holy power in just the item, I think it puts out a.
If Chelsea want to eat, you're welcome to them.
Oh, all right, thanks. I think it puts out a false, what would you call it, about where the power comes from. Like the power isn't in the object; it's in the person who's holding it. If you're connected to God, the power comes through the person holding it from God. Like,
Right, power comes from God through that person. Yeah,
yeah. So like I can like anybody can pick up a cross and hold it at something evil, and that junk's not going to do anything unless you're actually with God. It's not going to respect it at all. It doesn't care about the object. Like it doesn't care about the cross itself. Isn't what's keeping it from you know what I mean, like the
right.
object. So, but a lot of false things I put out. I don't know if they did it on purpose or if it's just for entertainment things, but people for some reason have taken things that are purposely for entertainment and just made it as if, or think about it as if it's like real life.
Yeah, yeah, and it's really for entertainment because like I mean, you go into like some of those horror movies and all that stuff where there's like demon possession and there's like people are like making prayers and exorcisms and all that stuff like that. It's all for entertainment. It looks good. It
Yeah.
had provides like scare and everything like that. Like that stuff does exist, right? But
Hmm.
one one, and I'll just make this: if you have Jesus Christ in you, if you have the Holy Spirit in you, then the demon ain't gonna touch you, right?
Yeah.
You're not going to be possessed by a demon, right?
No. Yeah.
A demon, you cannot have a demon within you and the Holy Spirit within you. So that's just not going to work.
They're scared. They're too scared of you to try to even worry. Like the light that comes from you that they see, they go away from. They don't approach it. You know what I'm saying? Like if you have a light
Right,
glowing from you, they're gonna go away from it because they like dark. They don't like.
right. So if you like experience or see that there's something that is absence of God, an absence of His Spirit, absence of His truth, within that situation. So
Yeah, I
anyway,
have
back to idols.
one thing real quick on that. Maybe an idea for a Halloween special. I got a few stories that deal
Ooh.
with that spiritual side realm of things. I could
Oh,
share.
I remember some of these
I
stories
could
too.
share, yeah.
I
But
remember
that's
some
a
of these
whole
stories.
different subject I can get into about who I am and things like that on that side of stuff. But that's a different subject.
So
Um,
you gave a definition of idols, and I know there's probably people listening to this that are like, that was very religious, like
yeah,
you know,
that's
and
what. Yeah,
anything got. So If I were to break it down, I would say an idol is anything that you are devoted to for whatever reason. Anything you're truly devoted to. Because if you're devoted to
Yeah.
something, like you are all in on that.
Yeah.
And so a good tell, because you could ask like, well, how do I know if if something is a god or an idol, like outside of God? Um, and I always use the W's, right? So if it's anything that you worship and anything that you worry about has a tendency to be
Right.
your god.
Yeah. Yeah. Anything that controls your thoughts to the point where you get distracted from living life or progressing in life or showing up for responsibilities, I would say is, yeah,
Yeah,
idolizing that thing.
something that consumes your thoughts. Like if you're
Yeah.
constantly thinking about it,
Yeah.
right? If you're constantly worried about it, if it's constantly taking up room in your mind, um, then you're
Yeah.
devoted to it. Whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, you're devoted to it,
Yeah.
and that has become an idol.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost like it's not almost like, but I would say it's a little similar to addictions or bad habits. Like anything can become an idol if it doesn't have the right balance, you know.
Right.
Or if, like you said, if you're letting it overtake you to where you can't be you, then that thing is you're probably idolizing something about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So even if you don't believe in God, um, like you can definitely tell if there is a God in your life, whatever it may be. And if you look around, if you think about it, you can easily figure out what is your God because it'll be one of the first things that comes to mind, and you'll probably want to dismiss it. I can
Yeah,
tell you, okay, so the God that we don't think about a lot of times, but most of society has, especially in the past, several years, is your phone. And that's one of the
yeah.
biggest idols.
You feel like you're gonna
And I could,
die if you don't have it. You feel like your life is over if
bro,
you disconnected from life if you don't have it.
bro, yes, right? Like you got people that like they don't have their phone in their hand, like they
Yeah.
don't know how to act. They don't know what to do.
So is AI an idol?
I don't think AI is specifically an idol. Um,
Phones are
I
idols.
think phones, yeah, I think phones can be idols just because
Well, yeah,
again, it's the purpose. Like you can't live without it,
yeah,
right? It consumes your thoughts. It consumes your
yeah,
mind. Whenever people wake up, a lot of times the first thing they check is their phone, right? We build our lives around our phone. A lot
yeah,
of times,
yeah.
what we do, our calendar, our phone, our alarm clock, our
You do
phone.
feel lost if your phone is missing. You're like, wait, wait, I can't do nothing else till I find that's my life
Right.
source. My phone's my life source. It
There have
almost
been
is
times when I've
for human Earth life. It almost is like life source for human stuff.
oh yeah, like you see someone, you've seen someone that doesn't like their phone is dead, the battery's dead, and they're looking for a place to charge that phone.
Yeah, yeah. I seen
Panic.
somebody. I seen somebody walk up to the outside of a closed gas station that had an plug outlet and just pull the pull their charger out their pocket and plug it up to the outside of the store and just sit there on the phone.
Right,
It was
right.
at nighttime and everything.
I've seen people like literally like leave their phone at home and drive off and realize they left their phone. It don't matter if you're gonna be late. Go back and get that phone, right? So I mean, like we it, we laugh about it, but it is a very big idol that a lot of times we let overtake us.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, like in society today, people say like, yeah, you can't live without your phone. You could, right?
Well, obviously, yeah, because the only thing you need to live is food, water, and oxygen. Like, if you want to break it down to the core, what life is, that's all you need to live. And really, well, it's funny because earlier I was talking to my daughter and stuff and telling Chelsea that I was kind of think like don't get caught up too much in like people's dramas and life things that it's making you unhappy or you're not enjoying life and things like that. I said just remember to reconnect with like nature, the air, water, trees, animal, like just reconnect to the point where like just remember that life is as simple as God, air, water, and food. That's literally what life is. Technically, that's what life is about, or what life is. And if you want to take God out of it, or not, it's still air, water, food. Like
which is
so.
all God.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like just don't forget to disconnect from things that don't matter as much, and just reconnect to the thought of it's as simple as that, so you don't need to worry as much about
Yeah,
stuff and things. Like you don't have to add up to what these people think you should be and stuff. Just remember life is literally this simple. Like
yeah, and it is simple, and I mean, the root of our desire to have a phone is one, convenience, right? So that is really the God that we're looking at as convenience,
right,
and then
true.
and knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Knowledge, like our phones are key to the world around us,
We weren't
and we
supposed
rely
to
on that.
have that
Nope.
because it knew it would destroy us. It would make us fight each other and kill each other because everybody thinks they're right all the time, and if you don't think like I think, then I got to get rid of you. That's the mentality now. Like, and if it doesn't happen when I want it to happen, I got to get rid of it. Like, and things like that. But I don't think it's the same thing with Adam and Eve. We were never supposed to know certain things that we know everything now. And that's another thing I was telling Chelsea earlier. That's kind of funny. All this is coming up. I was just telling her like the one of the bad things about the internet is I feel like God made us and put us in the place that we're supposed to focus on. So, like, we're supposed to focus on what's in front of us, the community around us, our families, in the area we're in at the time. That's why we're there. But the internet has
Right.
made it to where we're focused on somebody all the way across the world somewhere that we have no business worrying about, and not focusing on what we're supposed to be worrying about. Or we have people that have nothing to do with anything that we're doing having comments that are affecting our ways of thinking and stuff like that, and we're allowing that to make us choose trying to please somebody that it isn't even supposed to know anything about it, because they're not even
Right.
supposed to know anything that you exist, because you're nowhere around them. Like
Yeah. You got
so
99 problems, and probably all 99 you probably got from your phone,
yeah, yeah.
searching the internet,
And it's
everything
and
like
it's
that.
stuff that was never even supposed to be in your mind anyways, because it was never supposed to be in front of you for you to even know or worry about in the first place. You know what
Preach, man.
I mean? Like I feel like a lot of people out here just forgot about just the basics of, or they skip past what the common sense basic things are about something, just to try to keep their nonsense going.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean,
yeah.
ultimately, like you said, like we were never meant to know anything but God, which is why, like, and that's a whole conversation that we
Hmm.
could have too. But like, that's why we do have idols, right? It's because we were only supposed to have one God, and that's who we're supposed to know. And because of the fall, and because we opened ourselves up to all these the knowledge, right? The knowledge of good and evil, the knowledge of the world around us, and we've continuously opened ourselves up to it. You know, uh, 30, 40, 50 years ago, we didn't have the access that we do have now
Right.
to
There
everything. And the
have
more access that we get, the more knowledge we get, the more idols that
the
we have.
more
Honestly,
the
true.
more problems we have, the more mental illnesses we have, the more everything we have that's wrong with the place with everything.
All right.
Uh,
So
I,
another
I
idol.
I have been saying we need to. I feel like we need to simplify. We're doing too much. We need to go back to simplifying some things. Too much
Oh
stress,
yeah.
too much worries, too many things to think about all at once. It's all way overloaded, way overstimulated. We got to chill out for a little bit. We got to disconnect and reconnect back to life for a little bit. Like slow down a little bit. Life feels like it's
True.
going 1,000 miles per hour because that's how fast everybody's trying to live it. If everybody would slow down and stop trying to live so fast, it would stop moving so fast.
Very true.
People 20s wouldn't look like 50 nowadays.
Bro,
Anyways, I'm gonna leave
that is
that one
very true.
alone. But go ahead, what's that? I'm gonna get in trouble on this one.
Um, I was gonna
Nah,
say
I'm
some
good.
other idols that we don't think about. Family. Family can be an idol.
As in, like what example? Kind of
Like
the.
your identity. Um,
Oh, I got you.
is like, you know,
Kind of like maybe if
like
like your parent is famous or something type of thing, or if you come from something like
or just
you have a certain
idolizing
name. I mean,
your right, or just idolizing the aspect of your family. Like you worship and not like you're like bowing down to them, but like you truly cannot live without your family, like that they're your idol, they're what is important to you over God.
oh
They
yeah,
are,
yeah,
you know, family along with relationships. I think relationships can easily be an idol, like
yeah.
your
It
significant
happens a
other,
lot.
boyfriend,
Yeah.
girlfriend, house, like your husband, wife, whatever it be. um
Um,
when they
the
become like the thing that you put your all into.
yeah, that's the on that part right there. That's one of the things that I think about. I've been single for a long time. Like I've been single for I dated somebody for a year, but they live all the way in Indiana. Only seen them like for 4 days in person the whole time, so I won't know what you would consider that. But other than that, I was like, I basically been single for like 7, 8 years, something like that. But but
It's easy.
yeah,
I think whether you're single or not, being single not easy.
it's it's easier on the part of like being able to do what you need to or want to or something like that without having to worry about if it's how it's going to affect the person or not having the worry of them being happy with you or you trying to be the perfect person or you trying to like you know what I mean,
Right.
like um it's
'Cause I've
nice
seen those
not,
relationships.
and it's not
I've seen those
even,
relationships.
let's say it's not even the other person that makes you or makes me think that way. It's just my own thing that I do to myself. Like I gotta be perfect. I gotta be this. I gotta make sure they're happy all the time. I gotta this, and then I'm never taking time for myself. I'm putting like all I'm ever thinking about is if they're happy or not. You know what I'm saying? And then I'm not focused on what God wants me to do or nothing like that. so
True.
so I
True.
thought, just me personally, I've had that conversation in multiple or kind of a couple of times, maybe 2 or 3 times, probably with God about a relationship, and even if I would want one, or even if I need one, or should I stay single because He's gonna need me to be free to be able to move and not have that worry about me hurting someone else or me not being around like I should be for someone else in a relationship, or not being able to give that time or something. Not even not being able to be there mentally like I need to. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah. Yeah, I feel you. Because like I know, remember when I was single, that was like one of the biggest things of like focusing on. Like it's so easy to like have that mindset of like I need to have someone to be in a relationship with, or I need to be in a relationship with someone, especially when people around you are in relationships.
yeah, yeah,
And then you might be the only one in your group that's not, and everyone's like, "So when you when you
yeah,
find someone, be like I'm not trying to
yeah,
like."
yeah. Well,
But
me really that actually was me. I purposely wasn't trying to at all. I purposely ignored all that stuff and focused on um well, I did that because I wanted to focus on finding kind of, I guess, like seeking me who I am now because I've changed a lot. um Kind of just like seeking who I am, seeking like seeing where I am, and took time out to myself to kind of like better my get in a better mental place, reconnect with God and things like that more, and just reconnect to just like life and things like that.
Yeah.
So I purposely took that time away from all that stuff, and like I said, I'm still at that point. Like right now, don't know if I really would want anything or not. Like I'm kind of like cool, like I'm okay
And that's the place
where
where
I'm
you
at
kind
and
of want,
stuff.
like
Like,
like if God provides, and then God provides. If not,
yeah.
then
I
there's
just
a
look at
contentment
it as
aspect.
like he needs me to be freedom, right? Because he knows how I will worry about that person if they're happy and if they're all right, and I won't probably will say no to like certain things he might need me to pick up and go off and do or something like that,
Right.
worrying about that person or something.
And I think that's a like it's always about that balance, that healthy balance, because there are a lot of people out there, maybe people who listen now that struggle with that relationship aspect of just like the idol could be wanting relationship so bad that that's all consumes you. The idol could be the person that you're in a relationship with,
Yeah,
and like you kind of like bending to their every whim and kind of like making them who you're consumed about. Um, and it like and in a relationship, and I say this now, being married, like if your relationship does not push you towards God versus pushing you towards them, then that is going to be uh, probably an idol centered relationship. Like I'm thankful that my wife is very much like trying to push me more and more to like seeking God and like being a godly husband and
right,
father versus like the happy wife, happy life
right,
thing. Which she's always like, I hate that phrase because it's not true,
yeah,
right? Is that and that's very idol centered, like or even happy husband.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's very easy to fall into that category.
So what advice would you I had a thought? What advice would you give to a person who's very like goal oriented and very like uh on the, what I'm saying, like very hustle, basically? What would you tell to a person that's like a hustle mindset that always needs to be accomplishing something or is very goal like that? Like how can you, or how do you set goals and try not to idolize reaching that goal? Like if you are that type of person, what advice
I think
could you give
it's
somebody like that?
I think it's it all goes back to like your purpose behind it. Like we talked about it last episode with the whole American dream aspect. Like it's not a bad thing, right? But it's your purpose behind it. And I think it's the same thing
Right,
with your goals and your aspirations. I even put on here as idols like your talents and your gifts can be idols. Like it's great to use those talents and gifts, but what are you using them for to build your own self up, to build your own fame, to build your own empire and kingdom? If that's the case, that's the same thing as Nebuchadnezzar building an idol for himself. You really want people to bow down to you.
right,
Like if
right.
we're being honest,
Right.
we're
So
being
like,
honest.
yeah. So like, I guess that's where the battle is between like money, come like that tough battle with money is like you have goals that more than likely involve making more money, but how do you not let that money become your number one? You don't idolize the money over God, or like I was thinking earlier, you worship God, not the object that was given. Or how do you know what I'm saying? Like how do you
Yeah,
avoid worshiping the object instead of the giver or whatnot? Like the gift instead of the giver. Like
yeah. It's the purpose behind it. Every single day you have to remember that purpose. I think that's talking from myself too, because I'm a an achiever by nature. I love setting goals and just like I like checking it off the list, just get going. But a lot of times that's where my pride, um,
Yeah. Yeah.
and than anything
For you to
else,
feel
right?
good about yourself, like you accomplished something.
Right,
Yeah. Yeah, I
right.
get it.
So to bow down to yourself,
I think
right?
I'm like
So
my
that's
grandpa on that. He was a huge checklist person because he loved being able to draw a line through through it and see that it
right.
was done. He would leave it up and everything. Like,
So in that case, your idol is your sense of accomplishment, right?
yeah,
It's the pride that you have in your accomplishment. So yeah, it is. That I think it's why that's the top the top 10 commandment, because it is so hard to like have
yeah,
that fine line between like, am I worshiping? Am I devoted to like God in this? Like, or am I using my talents and my abilities and my work ethic and all that stuff to to worship God and to like really honor Him in what I'm doing, or is it to like honor myself and to promote myself and to like boast myself up?
yeah,
And if that's the case,
yeah.
then
It's like I say, I try to focus on, am I, um, I forgot what I was going to say. My brain was like, nope, don't say that. No. It happens sometimes with my brain. That junk will. I was
that's right.
thinking
That's why
about
we're doing
something else.
distractions.
Yeah,
That's why we're doing distractions next
I
week.
think I'm like, was it OC, not OCD, but ADHD or something like.
It's one of
When
the
you were
ancient
talking about
ODs.
distractions, telling a story earlier about distractions, I started hearing a bird behind me like pecking on something. I kept started looking behind me and stuff. I'm like, well,
There we go.
it's like I'm easily distracted. But
Um, okay, so I'm gonna bring this up for the Christians that pots be listening. As a god and an idol that you probably don't think about is religion. Religion and your faith can be an idol. Your Christianity can be an idol. Your pastor
yeah,
can be an idol. Your worship pastor can be an idol. Your church can be an idol. All of that can be an idol if it
yeah.
is something that you put before God. Your expectations of God can be an idol. So it's tricky for that
So
aspect too. Like,
would it be correct for me? Because I say, in your opinion, would it be, is it still correct for me to say God isn't religious, he's relational, like he's relation.
yeah, yeah, I do think that. And just because religion has a denotation of being um a form a form of like a process more than anything,
Yeah,
religion is like the traditions and the way of doing things, um and it goes in even deep of like the way we worship God, the way we um feel about the Bible, the way we do things differently than some other denomination or some other religion in itself. I think it's just as dangerous to worship other religions that are not of God, but it's also dangerous to worship the religion that is of God, because we start to take our mind off of God and we start to take our mind and put it on something else, like our church or the person that's preaching. Even what you were saying earlier about the one pastor who was like seeking like affirmation in that
yeah,
aspect. A lot of pastors out there are not preaching or not pastoring a church for the glory of God. They're pastoring a church for the glory of themselves. And
right,
there's a whole bunch of mega churches. I'll
yeah,
name them out there. You got like
yeah,
Transformation Church,
yeah. It's a
and
lot.
you got Elevation Church, and you got a bunch of these churches that have these famous pastors, right? And they may say some good stuff. Mike Todd, all of them say some good
Some
stuff.
some of them, if
But
y'all look, they got solid black eyes. So y'all keep on listening to these.
yeah, idolize them, idolize them. And just because they're famous and because they have a lot of people following them and because they say some good things does not mean that they are truly of God.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, even anybody can read a book, as in the Bible and stuff, and know it from front to back. Doesn't mean they live for God or know anything really, or it doesn't mean God and them have a relationship or anything. Like
Right. You can spit any sort of like good stuff and have people like, oh man, that
them
that
old
really does speak to me.
snakes, them old snakes be
Man,
slithering.
I listened to what my wife and I went to Elevation Church once, and dude, what's his name? That does Elevation Church. I see. I put him out of my mind already. Um,
Be right
Elevation
back. Hold on one
Church.
second.
Go ahead. I'm gonna keep talking to these people. All right. I'm gonna wait for Soul to come back. So we went to Elevation Church and we listened to Stephen Furtick, right, preach.
Yeah, yeah,
And I remember, like, he's pretty popular. Elevation's pretty popular. I didn't say anything wrong with the church specifically, but listening to him preach, and if you are listening to Stephen Furtick, that is completely fine too. But that fortune cookie like message that you just kind
yeah.
of like spit off and was like, the waves of the ocean are like the waves in your life. They're going to be ups and downs, and Jesus wants to let you know that he has the boat that is going to cross you across the I mean, for real, dude, for real. There was nothing biblical specifically about that. You just started
Yeah,
speaking fortune
yeah.
cookie stuff.
It's that
Like,
emotional thing. Use
and that
emotional words that make people connect and get
yes,
Because if people, it's like movies. If people are emotional, then they'll like it or they'll feel connected and stuff.
right.
Yeah. Um.
And
I mean,
it's an idol.
I will say this. Like, I listen to I listened to TD Jakes a lot at one point, and I mean, a lot of people call him like fake or he just for the money or this or that and all that type of stuff. I don't know. I mean, what I seen when I watched it though, like I seen a person up there just preaching the word of God and breaking it down to where it made sense to me at least. Certain things, you know what I mean, and then I could like relate
Right.
it to my life and make sense a little bit more out of what I was confused about. So I mean, that's what helped me a little bit watching them. Um, but I honestly believe that God will speak to you through anybody or anything. Like it could be a freaking blade of grass and it will speak to you out of nowhere. Like it doesn't matter. It could be God. In my opinion, God will use the devil to speak a message through to you if he wants to. Like it's,
And he has.
he will
Yeah.
use the thing you would think the least he would use. He will use that to like you know, and I mean
And he has. Yeah. And I think that's the thing. Like, if you are looking for God, right? And if you are truly seeking God, God is going to make himself real to you. But
right.
you've got to make sure that you are seeking him and not
Yeah.
whatever else is there.
Yeah, that's on a subject similar to that. Um, is when people say I'll pray for you. I started asking which God you praying to because I don't know if I want you praying for me. I don't know you like that.
Right. Even if they're praying at all.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that just use that stuff. A lot of people use God things as just sayings and stuff. Just like the word love nowadays has been, they've made it to where it doesn't mean nothing. That's supposed to be one of the most meaningful things in the world. So
Right.
it sounds like they know what time it is. I heard them in the background.
So I was gonna say like a lot of people were gonna be like probably like why is this such a big deal about the whole idol thing? Um, I'll be plainly blunt. Like I was thinking about it, like worshiping worshiping the wrong thing could literally like destroy your life. It could literally kill you.
Yeah,
There's a lot of people that have worshipped like man's approval or worshipped their talents and abilities and worship this and that. And whenever it has been either taken away from them or it has failed them or dissatisfied them or not come through, then their life has kind of like felt destroyed. Like depression, discouragement, suicide, all of those different things have happened. Um, and so while it may sound like okay, not a big deal, but when you when you put your devotion into something, when you make something your Lord, and it will like fail you, when it will like truly dissatisfy you, and you realize that all of your devotion has been put into that, um, then it can be dangerous, right? And that's why we say like if you are seeking after God and if you are truly following Him, and if He is the one that you're worshiping, then we know that God never fails, right? He may not always answer the way we think, or may not always like
Yeah.
look like the way we think, but He never fails. All these other things you put your faith in, all the other things you put your trust in, you worry about, you worship, are going to fail you at some point in time. Your spouse is going to fail you. Your relationship's going to fail you. Your family will fail you at times. Your phone is going to fail you at times, especially if you don't charge it. Your talents and gifts are going to fail you at times. You're not always going to be perfect at those.
Yeah.
Your heroes are going to fail you, right?
Yeah.
And so you've got to watch what you put your faith and your devotion into because it could ruin your life.
Yeah. I like what J. Cole said. The good news I went. He said the good news I made it a long
We'll say about
way.
that.
The bad news is I went the wrong way. It's very important going the right direction. If you're gonna grind towards something, make sure you're pointed in the right direction. If you're just gonna run straight downhill, at least make sure you're in the right direction, or you're just gonna get yourself way far away in the wrong direction. Like go on, like yeah. So I mean, it's like I think really what Cole meant by that is like he accomplished a lot of his goals that he had for like rapping and making money and things like that. But then when he got it, he realized that was the wrong thing to go after when it came to life. That was the wrong thing to chase after, like, because he feels like being broke is better. He even said that in the song. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
but I think
yeah.
it's
Like, what are you
about
chasing
life.
after?
Yeah, it's not, and like I was telling my daughter too. It's not about don't focus on ending goals because the ending goal is when you die. I mean, that's the goal. That's the finish line. So don't focus on the finish line. The real life and joy and everything is in the journey of the people you meet, the things you go through together with people, whether by yourself or like the experiences you have, opportunities you get, like, and the things you get to do and stuff. That's what life is, you know. And the only way you're going to
Right.
experience that is if you stop hiding in your safe zone and step out where you're a little uncomfortable. That's the only way you're going to get to ride that life life ride, you know.
It's true.
Coming from
It's
a
true.
hermit of the past 5 or so years, I went from being someone that was gone out the house from the time I woke up till like midnight till I went to sleep as when I come back home to somebody that never leaves the house for like the past 5 years. So I know both sides of that, man.
Yeah. No, and I think my big thing is like being ever since getting married and also being a dad, like it's so many
Yeah.
different things that especially like financially, like money, and then like your kids. You know this, like your kids and can easily like be your sole focus and can be that god of just like that idol that you like eh, you're not going to be the perfect parent, you're not going to be the perfect you know
Yeah.
husband, wife, boyfriend, whatever. um but if you focus on God, if you truly are like worshiping following him, he's the one that gives you the power to do anything. He's the one that gives you the power um to be successful, to be healthy, to be whatever it be.
Yeah.
And if you like we said before, seek first the kingdom of God and His righteousness, and all the things will be added unto you. If you truly seek God, He will take care of you. He will
Yeah,
be the one that brings you what you
yeah,
truly need, and you don't have to look to these other
and
idols.
even
Um,
things that he knows that you will enjoy and want
right.
that probably you didn't even know that you would.
True.
Yeah,
True. True.
that's what One other thing I would say about the conversation with my daughter was telling her how you perceive life and how you sit around thinking or what you choose to focus on is how you're going to feel in life. So think about the positive things, seek the positive things, focus on the positive things in life. If it's changes, look at it as be excited for what is going to happen. Something new's about to happen. Stuff is changing. If somebody left, it's okay. They're supposed to be gone. It's no problem. That's actually a good thing because now you can progress your life where it's supposed to go, where you're actually going to be way happier and stuff than thinking that you think you're at max happiness where you are, but you go to the next thing, you're gonna realize that really won't nothing at all. Like so,
Mm.
don't some things are meant to be gone. Don't hold on to it, but just instead of thinking about negative things, instead of focusing on the negative side of stuff, look for the positive. Focus on positive more, and you will feel more positive about life and stuff. Like
Like that.
feed yourself positive things because if it's negative all the time you're watching and all that stuff like that and how you're thinking, then you're always going to feel down and stuff. Focus on positive
True.
things, peoples. Like, don't try not to get caught up idolizing stuff.
Yes.
But everybody
Yes.
has the
Your
battles.
idols will
I
show you.
have my own battles with stuff. One of mine has always been I've always had a battle, a certain type of battle with weed and stuff. I
Mm.
battle a lot with it just because my mind is kind of like split half and half on dealing with like God and smoking and this and that, and my brain just kind of like split differently on down the line on that. Because I
Oh
guess
yeah.
real fast, I guess I could see. I mean, obviously, like smoking and stuff is damaging, so that's not good thing about like being your body being simple and things like that. But at the same time, the plant is used for a lot of medicine, and it is just a seed you plant in the ground and it grows natural. So that's just like fruit, corn, like food, whatever else, or aloe or anything else. But it becomes a problem when people take it, when humans get their hands on it and make it some type of drug instead of just use it as medicine what it's used for. So I'm kind of like split. That's where I'm a little split down,
Yeah.
a
It's
little
that
bit on that type
dependency.
of yeah. Like what
Like
is
you said, any addiction, any dependency, anything like that can be
yeah,
easily introduced into even the smallest things. Like, I mean, like even like work, right? My biggest thing is I was always a workaholic. Like that tendency was always there, and it was more for the achievement aspect, like I said before. So, like being able to achieve stuff, be able to
yeah,
like have that boost of myself to be able to say like, yo, I did this type thing.
yeah.
Um, was was a big struggle for me, and like you said, like achieving things not a bad thing. Work ethic not a bad thing, but when it becomes something that you idolize and you depend
Yeah,
upon to fulfill you, there
yeah,
you go.
yeah.
It could be something as simple as sports. It could be
Yep.
something as simple as your car. I know people have
Could be
like been
food.
like idolized their car, their house. It could be food, yeah. So many different things.
Yeah, it'd be anything
And the
that
thing is,
yeah, anything you
you got
don't
to
have
be
that self
honest with
control and
yourself.
balance. Yeah,
You got to be honest with yourself and realize like what it is. And I think that's the hardest thing for people is to be like naming it and saying like, you know what, this is my God, this is my
yeah.
idol.
I
And
guess
you may have to every single day, like name it and say, I don't want it to be like consume me.
guess to be
to the point where
completely
like
clear for the people on mine, what I was saying about mine is it was it given to us by God to use as medicine in certain ways and we abuse it and that's the problem, or is it something that is from like the devil or not from God and it's not supposed to be that I guess that would be clear of what my battle is like. Is it from God or is it not from God? It's just you have to use it in the right ways. If not, then it becomes the bad thing, just like food or anything else can be. You know what I'm saying? Or is it just like Tylenol you can take for a headache? Like what is it? You kind of get what I'm saying? Like so, who like what is it really
yeah,
put here for? Was it from God or not? Kind of thing. And was it? Did He give it to us for use of that, or is it something that is a temptation we're supposed to that He put here to see for us to like deny or whatnot? You know what I'm saying? That's more just to
yeah,
clarify my brain on where it's at. Like I'm not really sure which one. That's kind of what I'm seeking on it. What is it necessarily in
yeah.
God's eyes and stuff?
I think with anything like I'm always for the belief that like when God created the world and created everything, He said it was all good. And I fully believe that like it was all good. That everything
Yeah,
He created
that's
is
yeah,
good.
yeah. That's me.
We just yeah we just have to
I
be aware that
that's me, and I think when it becomes bad is because certain humans get a hold of it and abuse it, and then it becomes bad, a bad thing. I mean, like
yeah
just something similar is like the coca plant that they make cocaine from and stuff. Literally, people that work with it will put leaves in their mouth because it really doesn't have a drug effect. It numbs as medicine. It gives you a little bit of energy, but it doesn't become the drug effect until humans take it and chop it up with other things and do other things to it, and then it becomes an addictive killing powder, basically. Like so, that's just kind of my thing. Like all that stuff, I feel like I am Indian too, so that might be what it comes from. But
there you go.
I feel like all that stuff was all natural medicine in its natural form. But as soon as you take it and take it out of its natural form and add other stuff to it that are harmful and addictive, then that's when the problem happens. That's when it becomes a drug and a problem. Like I think that's the way with a lot of stuff out here. It's just
It is.
my opinion, but
No, I feel you. I feel you.
just people use
Cool man.
everything or a lot of things in the wrong ways,
We
in
do.
harmful ways instead of the ways they were naturally made for and originally created for. People don't use
Yeah,
them for that anymore.
we pervert what God has created,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
the uses that God has created
yeah,
for anything really. So
yeah. That could
yeah, I
be a
get
whole
that.
nother subject and stuff, but yeah, yeah. Guess Discord's like, all right, it's
True,
that
true,
time.
true. All
Discord's
right,
like,
man.
I'm gonna start making Ari's camera freeze up. It's that
Is-
time.
Oh, so yours is freezing up on my end, so
Yeah, there we go. It's that time.
all good.
But nah, I guess
Discord kicking us off.
any last words? Audio still going through, so be alright. Any last advice or anything? I guess only random thing I could ask is
I think the biggest.
oh,
Uh,
I was just gonna only random thing I could ask
no,
is I was gonna say when God calls or God says Israel, as in like he's talking to people, does he mean the actual place Israel, or is that just like a saying of his people? He means by his people when he says that. Like he's gonna, I forgot what scripture I was reading earlier, but but anyway, I'll ask you that off. I can't remember exactly what the scripture said.
yeah,
It does
maybe
not.
like
It's not really important or nothing like that.
something
It
like
was
that.
just a random thing that I was curious about. Yeah. Any last thing you wanna?
No, I think I've given my thoughts on it pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, uh, I think just listen to what we were saying. Take it with a grain of salt, of course, but like really search your lives, search your heart for whatever idols there might be, whatever gods that you have, and just be honest with yourself. Because whenever you are honest with yourself about what those things are, um, whether you believe that they are destructive or not, um, know that the only thing that's really going to be able to satisfy the role of God in your life is going to be God.
Yeah.
Capital God, Alpha Omega, Yahweh,
Yeah.
point blank period.
That's it. Game over.
Game
Well,
over. Done.
we we love y'all.
Stupid
Stay
pollen.
up. We do appreciate the questions, even if it's challenging things we say or talk about. Um, we welcome y'all to come to the live streams and ask questions or talk with us too. Leave comments in the YouTubes and yeah. I mean, I will say, I mean, I'll
Yep.
answer them the best to my knowledge that I know. Any questions, any responses, I'll give it to the best of my knowledge and stuff. What the truth is on my side, and what my opinions are and stuff on it in a way, or what I know for to be facts. I do use the Bible and God because I am a man of God and I believe God is truth. So that is what I use, um, or get a lot of my information from as truth. But also, I'm a man of God, but I'm seeking truth in all things and stuff. So I mean, that's the point, I guess, of it. So I mean, yeah. Any
Yeah,
questions,
it's true.
anything you're curious about and stuff, just talk to us. We don't mind talking. Y'all stay up. Be easy. Stay greasy.
Easy.
Later, everybody.
Don't say do greasy.
I always tell people that stay greasy. Love y'all. Yo,
It's
later.
Vaseline lotion on.
Oh no.